Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And you guys know where I'm at. I am in Soul B. However, we are at the entrance right now, and I think you guys saw what happened last time. An earthquake went off. Earthquake is an artificial kind of reset of the server where you will find all the dragons have repopped, all the raid mobs have repopped, and everybody just pretty much drops whatever they're doing and takes off. And when I mean everybody, I do mean everybody. If you do a search right now for what zones and who's in the zones, every zone, every single one of them is absolutely dead, except for the ones with raid mobs in them. And then those have like 200 people in each one of them. You got all these guilds going after stuff right now. It's actually pretty cool to kind of see that in the game. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Telix and Sith. I hope I pronounced that right. Sessesth. They are. One of them is definitely somebody who watches the videos. I don't know if the other one is group window left. That was actually where they were at, so I don't know if they decided to kind of move off to a safer spot or what was going on. They were a little low, level 35, as a monk, and I don't remember what the other class was actually. So, but our shaman left. Yeah. So we probably want to stay here. This is a nice safe spot, and we're doing fairly well. We're not pulling too many mobs. It's not like we're going out of our way and just getting every mob in the zone. We are getting all the stragglers, all the ones that are here at the entrance, and the ones that are kind of around it. We're not going up into the Royals room. We have no tank whatsoever. And there's Telix right there. So they're doing something over there still. I think he just zoned it rather than drag something back to his group just to make sure. Because a lot of the time you'll find that the monks, when they pull something that they're not quite guaranteed to lose all the aggro on, I'm talking about like 15, 20 mobs where they're just like, there's no way I won't even want to risk going back to my group with that. And they will go ahead and exit out. Let me tell them it's a pop. Yeah, they will go ahead and exit out of the game all the way. They quit the game, come back into it, and that clears any aggro that they have because it acts exactly like zoning does. So if you're next to a zone, clearly you can just go ahead and do that rather than quitting out of the game because it's a lot quicker and you don't have to go through all that hassle of entering your whatever your hold on a second, guys. You don't have to go through all that hassle of, entering your password and screen name and things of that sort, and then loading into it, which takes forever, and, picking your character. And I can keep going on and on and on. And there he is right there, guys. There is, actually, no, that's Swanson. Swanson is what level? What level are you? He's anonymous. Okay, so I have no idea. He could be within our level range, or he could be a very, very high past our level range. So, but you can see just how many people are in the zone, and yeah, it's not a lot. And this is one of the few zones. I think the only reason anybody's left in this zone is because I wouldn't stop. I wanted my level. I really, really wanted my level. So everybody was pretty much like, oh, I'll just go ahead and head out. The mage, however, was like, she's really close to her level. She has like a bubble left or something like that. She thinks it'll be about an hour before she gets it. And I'm like, well, I'm willing to stay if you are. And one other guy was like, well, if you guys are staying, I'm willing to stay for a little bit. And I picked up this enchanter who just happened to be on the outside. He was like, he's not able to go to the raid zones and stuff like that because he's just not high enough. I got him, and I also got another cleric who's also in that same boat. So I managed to save the group. What it is, it's not the greatest group in the world, but it's not the worst one either. So let me tell him clarity when I get a chance. But yeah, it's working. We have a mage, we have an enchanter. The enchanter has one of his mobs, or one of the mobs, I should say, in the zone, charmed, and he's turned it into a werewolf. You can kind of see it right there around the corner. It will, of course, move around, and we'll see a lot more of it here in the future. But two tanks, the mage pet and the charmed pet, both of them got a lot of hit points. And then, of course, with the enchanter slowing the creature, the high level cleric that we have over here, the Anukus, she's over there doing like complete heal on the mobs that we have as our pets. and everything's working out really well. I mean, I'm not really doing too much, to be honest. I'm kind of just sitting here collecting experience. I do from time to time do the spot heals because we got another cleric, and when you're the lower level cleric, usually that kind of role falls to you. You do the spot heals. Sometimes you'll even do the buffs if you're within the level range of having the same buffs as the other person. Usually the higher level buff is going to last longer. It doesn't really do more, it just kind of lasts longer. So sometimes you will take over the role of doing main healing while they do the buffs. But in this situation, I don't really want to buff his pet because at some point we have to kill that pet. And I don't really feel safe doing that. She doesn't really feel safe doing that. And of course, the enchanter doesn't really want you to do that because when it breaks, and it does break, when it finally wears out, it's going to go over there and beat on him. So he's not really giving it a whole lot of stuff that doesn't last for just a few seconds. There's spells that even I have that give a temporary increase to your strength that I can cast on myself or somebody else, and it only lasts for like 15 seconds. Those are okay to throw on a pet that you're worried that might break at any moment, because 15 seconds, yeah, if you give a haste spell to a pet and then it immediately breaks, 15 seconds is more than enough time for him to wipe the floor with an enchanter. But chances are it's going to break either halfway through or close to the end of it, and you're only going to get a few hits in there. And if you're far enough away from the pet, you should be fine to survive long enough for it to wear away and you charm it again. So, okay, bats, not pop yet. Okay, so there's just nothing to pull at the moment. And he's actually running around doing most of the work, and enchanter pulling, Soul Bee, but there's nobody here. Everybody left. Just the zone emptied out. There was 3 groups here. One of them was over here at the window room. There was us over in the Royals, and we had that full group going strong. And then, of course, we had one guy over in the Afrides. I think he had like 2 people with him or something like that. And as soon as that earthquake thing happened, we lost our group. We lost the window group, and those like 3 people over in the Afridi room just disappeared. So we don't even know what happened to them. Maybe they died or something, but we need to fix my incoming message. All right, so we got the bats. Let me go ahead and do a spot heal now. So I did get my level. If I haven't mentioned that, I did get my level. I was going to try to record it, but it didn't work out that way. Too many things going on at once, trying to form the group and get things going, and people fighting in the meantime, and just a lot of chaotic, happenings going on at that moment. And I was trying to save the group, and that, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, requires you to talk, to type, and communicate with people. You gotta be, the more communicative you are with those people, the better chance you have of the group staying. So I was letting them know what I was doing. Hey, I'm looking for another tank. I'm looking for some more people. Let's just do, give them a goal. Like, let's just do the mobs at the entrance. We don't need to go to a room. They wanted to know what room we were going to. And I'm like, let's just kill mobs here at the entrance. If it gets out of hand because we don't have the right classes, we just zone it, come back in, kill a couple more mobs. It may take a while, but at least we get a little bit of experience until we can find more people to fill out the group. And people were fine with that. And I've talked about this before on other videos in the past. It really just comes down to leadership, guys. It's you got to take the reins and just be like, this is what we're going to do. It kind of sounds like a jerk move to do, where we're just like, I'm doing this and you guys kind of have to follow. But at the same time, a lot of people were just like, I'll go wherever. I just want experience. Like, I don't really care what we're doing. So unless somebody takes the reins and say, let's just go do this, everybody's just kind of leadership, rudderless, and they don't know where to go or what to do, and the whole group will kind of fall apart because nobody's taking charge of what to do. So I would suggest, if you're in that situation where the group is falling apart and you don't want to sit there for another hour and a half, 2 hours looking for a group that's already been formed and ready to go, that you take charge of the group yourself. You give them a goal, give them, don't be pushy about it. If they say they want to do something else, be open to that, obviously. But when they don't have any options on the table and nobody's really putting forth the effort to do it, especially when there's like 4 people sitting at an entrance and you walk up and you're like, hey, how's everybody doing? You look at the classes and you're like, oh, we got a pretty good group here. You guys want to group up? And then nobody does the invite. They're waiting for you to do it because they don't want to have the responsibility of leading the group. It also it comes with a little bit of work. actually. Quite a bit of work sometimes, depending on what's going on. So if you have a group that's not quite finished out, it's kind of up to the leader, the guy who started the group, the guy who's inviting people to find more players, to find that tank, to find that enchanter, that cleric, whatever the case is, to fill out that group. So that's what I should be doing right now. That's what I was actually doing for like the last 20 minutes. Nobody is wanting to do this right now. Nobody's wanting to kill for experience. They're all wanting to go to raids, and everybody's camped their alts. So there's a lot less people around my level than I thought there was. Most of them have been alts. Level 39 druid looking for a group. I'll let them come over here and join us. That's actually one too many O's. Come to entrance. Ooh, a druid pooler. So yeah, we might be able to get that. Where you at? There you are. Already here. Can I get you? Can I? Nope. There's a freaking corpse here in the way. There we go. Gotcha. Now you can zone in from multiple places in this zone. You can go from Soul A back into Soul B. So I didn't know what side he was on. 39 is a little iffy. He could be on Soul A's side, or he could be right over here. Either way, the more the merrier. Not exactly the ideal class. We do want a tank for or a monk or something, a bar, anything that could actually take damage would be nice. But we're not going to get that at the moment. Now, like I said, I did get my level, and I thought maybe I'll stop there. But look at this, guys. In the amount of time we've been doing this video, about 11 minutes, I've already gotten that much experience right there. So the experience here at the entrance to the zone is absolutely amazing. I think I'm getting the majority of the experience, to be honest, because they're a little bit too high for it. And when I say a little bit too high, I just mean that they're not getting the amount of experience that I'm getting, because it's just I'm lower level, and these things are lower level, and so it kind of works out perfect. They're very much even cons. Sometimes I get a blue con here and there, so they're really right there at my level. I have a writ or grimace page for my research. Been time since I've been here. I'll give it a try. Okay, so yeah, he's probably like, I've never pulled before. I can't believe they're gonna ask me to pull. I am a druid, not a tank, but you do want to be open to what the group is asking of you when you first join. But you do also want to use your experience. If you suck at pulling and you know it because you've tried it before, it just doesn't work very well, then let them know. And chances are they're still going to ask you to try. But once they see that you're really bad, and then of course you've been told that you're really bad, they will quickly catch on a lot quicker than they normally will. If they just be like, well, maybe he's having an off day and he kind of knows what he's doing, or maybe he's never pulled before, just give him some time and he'll learn. If you tell him that you just suck outright and you've always sucked and it's just never gotten better, then chances are they're going to be like, I don't feel like dying today. Maybe get somebody else, or, let's not have him pull. So just be honest with the group. It may make you look like a fool sometimes, but hey, everybody in life looks like a fool at some point. It's better to look like a fool than to look like a jerk who came into a group, got everybody killed, and chances are left because he felt really bad about what he just did. And everybody's like, oh, what a jerk, right? The guy joins, kills everybody, and then leaves, doesn't even stay and stuff. So yeah, I would prefer people to be honest. I try to do it as much as possible when I join a group. If I've never been there before, I'll ask questions. I'll be like, okay, so did any of these mobs do anything that I need to be aware of? Do I need to cure? Do I need to stun these guys when they get to a certain point? And people are usually pretty open with the answers to that. And nobody's really ever, in fact, I don't think I've ever gotten a negative response to asking questions like that. People are happy to answer questions like that rather than wait until after the fact and be like, why didn't you stun that guy? Now we have to, fight him again and again and again and again because he's healing his life up, to a degree that we just can't really keep up with, because you just will not stun that guy. There was one, I believe it was in the plane of innovation in POP, plane of knowledge and plane of power expansion, that they had one mob like that you quite literally could not kill if you didn't get the stuns off the entire time. Like, his power went up so quickly that he was unstoppable. He just would not die unless you could get off those stuns. And it actually took a timed, you know, kind of domino effect of the stun. So if you're a cleric, you get more stuns than I think anybody else in the game. Enchanters get the area effect stuns, and I think they get the single stuns, but they don't get as many as the cleric, if I'm remembering that correct. I know you get 3, maybe 4 stuns. One of them doesn't do any damage. I believe the other 3 actually do damage as well, but they stun, period. Like, they all stun. So you can put all those up. Let's see, kill pet, his endless, and okay, so we're going to come over here. But yeah, it's you can use the stun to stop an enemy from casting a spell, whether it's a heal spell or a damage spell, or whatever the case may be. Maybe he's trying to gate out and go back to his spawn point, and pull you back there once he gets there, and all this nastiness that can happen. You can stun those. You can actually stop those. And then of course you throw in the tanks that have their bash and their body slam, and they're able to stop those as well. So there's a lot of things you can do if you're paying attention and you know they're coming. Same thing with those cures. It's not always easy to look inside the chat window and see, oh, so-and-so just got struck by disease. Once you are comfortable with the area and you get to starting to explore your chat box, then you will be able to do that. And especially if you change it a different color and you'll be able to see like hostile spells, they pop a little bit more. So that's something you might want to consider if your job is to do that kind of stuff. If you find yourself in that role quite a bit, go ahead and give yourself that little advantage. Change the color. And for those of you who are kind of wondering how to do that, just go into your options right there. You can do that little EQ2 button. I don't know how to pop that up otherwise, but I bet it's something like Alt-E or Alt-Q or something like that to get that to pop up. And once you do, you have all these little tabs here at the top: general, display, mouse, keys. Keys will allow you to set things up so you can push the button and have it set up. But filters will be the thing that you can do. You can come over here and you can show what shows up, what doesn't show up, and then you can give it a color. So you can give certain things a color on your chat bar and be like, okay, all yellow is going to be this, or all purple is going to be this. It doesn't give you a ton of colors to pick from, so you're going to have a whole bunch that kind of line up with each other and be the same color if you are giving everything in here a color. I kind of wish there was the scroll wheel that you can just pick stuff out, but as far as I know, there's no scroll wheel in there. I do tend to leave things the way they are. I don't really change any of the colors of anything because I like showing you guys the default so that when you watch my videos, when you play your game, you're like, oh, okay, I recognize that. That is what that means. He talked about that, and it looks the exact same way on mine. This is the default skin that you get. I'm not using the Velius skin. I'm not using anything special. This is the default skin. I do at some point want to try some of the more advanced ones, especially when we start getting into raiding. I think that is going to be a necessity. However, I'll probably switch back and forth. And the reason, again, is so that you guys can see how it's done with a regular skin versus how it's done with some of the other skins that are out there. And then you can make your own choice on whether you think it's worth it for you to use those or not, because this really comes down to opinion. Some of the more advanced ones will give you a more detailed description on how much power you have. The same thing for the experience. If I look at my experience right now, I have to sit there and be like, what is that? 4%, 5%, 6%, what is that? Well, if you had the more detailed one, I think it starts with a D, it's like Detrox or something like that, it will tell you exactly how much you have. It will tell you 16% or 17% or whatever the case is that you have at that time. That can be kind of helpful to some people as far as the experience goes. Experience for me is one of those things I like to look at it and try to guess, because that's what we did back in the day. We didn't even have this blue bar, I don't believe. I don't remember this blue bar being in the game at the very, very beginning. It was just the yellow bar. And it didn't even have these little ticks, these little dashes in there. It was just a solid yellow bar. I think it had the one dash for each one of the bubbles, and that was it. And you kind of had to look at that and be like, is that 4%, 5%? I don't know what that is. It's close. And then when you got all the way to the end where you're about to level, you're like, okay, when is it going to be the level? You get 1 kill, you get 2 kills, 10 kills, 15 kills, 30 kills later. You still haven't leveled. Granted, you're in a heck level, and it takes a long time to do that, but it definitely added a kind of an exciting factor to it, because it wasn't a sure thing. Nowadays, you can see, oh, I got 99%. I am, 1 kill away, 2 kills away, pretty close. But when you're at 97, 98, 99, even like 96, it still looks the same on that yellow bar that it does at 99. The only thing that changes is that blue bar. And when you don't have that blue bar or those little ticks, it's very, very difficult to see what's going on. Let's see, what is this? What are they doing? So we're going into this room? All right, we can do that. Normally I wouldn't come over here, but I think we can try doing that. I think this is going to be the last video for tonight, though, because I'm actually getting a little tired. And I want to keep something for tomorrow. Like, I want them to be able to, experience the full effect of this zone. I might go to Lower Guck, to be honest. Like, I like this zone. It's a really good experience. Absolutely insane. But I do have very fond memories of Lower Guck, and I kind of want to show that zone off a little bit. I just don't want to bite off more than I can chew by going to a zone that is going to just kick my face in. And that zone might do that because it's very dangerous at times. So let me root this guy if I can. And that way he won't beat on the casters any. There we go. He's rooted. Let's come over here. Remember, don't fall in the lava. If you fall in the lava, it's going to be a bad, bad day for you. Lava, unlike what you might be expecting it to do, does not simply damage you when you first fall into it. No, it's a prolonged amount of damage that it does to you. It's going to hurt you the whole time you're in there, as long as one of your legs is touching it. And you will be surprised about how deep it is, how almost how thin it is. Like, you just fall right through that. Water you swim around in. The lava you seem to fall down a whole lot more. What are they randoming on? Anything there? That? No, they can't be randoming on that. Bronze collar, no. Yeah, I don't know what they are randoming on. That's the mage. She got an 89. It's a pretty good roll, though. Shame she kind of wasted it. Oh, the Purified Heart Amulet. Upgrade for anybody. 5 intelligence, 15 mana. Wow, that is really good. I say give it to the casters. I'm gonna pass on that one, so let me go ahead and say pass. There we go, mage. Congrats. Hopefully, yeah, I always think pass 2. Okay, so she got it. Congrats. That is nice. That's not a bad little item right there. 5 intel, 15 mana. Basically, that kind of adds up to one or the other. It's either 6.5 intel or 65 mana. But it does change because intel only gets you up to a certain point and then it's capped off. I believe it's 250, but it might be 255. It's been a while since I've gone up that high. Once you go past that point, every intel that you have only gives you 1 extra mana instead of 10 extra mana. So at that point, you actually want to get rid of some of your items. You want to stay right at that point, obviously. You want to stay exactly at like 250 or 255, whatever it is, and not go past that on your intel. But if you do have extra intel, so you get a big item that has like 15 intel on it, which is just insane. That's a high item. Say go with like 9 or 10, and now that puts you over 4. But you have a ring that gives you 4. Well, you can get rid of the ring that gives you 4 intel and get a ring that gives you 40 mana, and you're going to get more mana in return for doing that than you would otherwise. Okay, Menace is to pull. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to pull, but he can try. Definitely give it a shot. He is a druid, so, we'll see how well this works out. We do got this guy right here. I'm going to let Dooney Earthsea sit right next to that guy. So when he does break, although I don't think it really matters where you're sitting when this guy breaks, because it just comes down to he hates the person who has like messed with his mind, and that's the enchanter. He goes straight after that guy immediately upon breaking. I do like how he changed the look, though. It does help you figure out who's who and which is his pet and which is not his pet, because we have been healing this guy. I haven't used my complete heal just yet, but it's definitely going to be something that I'm looking forward to. I was watching the other cleric do it, and to be honest, when he first started, because I wasn't sure he had power to go ahead and heal, the guy was getting really low, and I'm like, I don't know, I can't really take this. This is like fraying my nerves a little bit because the guy's about to die, but then he uses it and it's all fine. So as long as you have faith in what the cleric is doing, and he's watching what's going on, and he's able to get that off because he's anticipating how much damage you're taking, then everything's hunky dory. But if you even have a little bit of doubt in the skill or the competency of the cleric, then complete heal can be really, really nerve wracking. And I remember at some point with my Shadow Knight, I just stopped watching my life. Like if I died, I died. But if watching my life, I got very self conscious about it, and I would a lot of the time try to interfere a little bit. But you know, it does help you out to watch it if you're a tank. Because if you're about to die and you see, oh, I'm at 2%, the guy's healing me, but he's not quite there yet. He needs an extra like 2 or 3 seconds. You can use a stun if you're a paladin. You can use your bash if you're a warrior, or anybody who's using a shield. Warriors usually actually don't use shields, but if you have a shield on, you can bash them. Give yourself that extra 1 or 2 seconds for the spell to go off and get completely healed. So it does help for you to do that. It's just you don't want to get overly concerned with it. You're going to get very close to dying every single time, and if that bothers you, best bet, just don't look at your life for a little while and let it do what it's going to do, because you can't stop it. You can't do anything to really help it other than those little tactics that I kind of mentioned before, where you back up a little bit or use your stun or use your bash to give yourself that extra little bit of time. But those situations really don't happen very often. If he's letting you get that close to death, chances are it's because you're taking a lot of damage and he just didn't cast it soon enough. So that could be very, very bad for you and not really a lot you can do. So just kind of be aware that situations in this game will change based off of the people you have in your group and where you're fighting it. It really does completely and totally alter the gameplay. Holy crap, they pulled a few of them here, and he's about to die. Let me go ahead and get a superior heal on this guy if I can. There we go. He is completely healed. A little bit of overkill, but that's alright. They went ahead and zoned it. One of them did anyways. Oh crap, I am gonna die here. No, don't die. I'm gonna lose my level. I am gonna lose my level. Unbelievable. So I lost my level, which means I can't even give myself a 50% res, and that sucked. That sucked so bad, guys. Oh man. I am going to go ahead and end the episode here anyways. I will see about getting my level back. I'm hoping I'm pretty close to it, and then I can res my body and get even more experience back on it. But guys, I want to thank you all for watching. If you do enjoy these videos, definitely leave those like buttons and subscribes. Leave the comments down below so I know what you guys think of it, and I will definitely catch you all next time.